Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'll remove. I don't need to remove save changes. All right, let's begin. We are live. Let's get some more lights in here. Alexa, turn off the standing lights. That one is off, and I have excellent camera angles. Let me see what my lights are doing. I need to better. Okay, just did. Perfect. All right, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. You know, when we start, we always like to do a little bit of setup so that we can make sure everything is good. Just bear with me. I have my guests. They are ready and they are active. Literally, they are waiting for us to get started. You know, they are on the mic. I know you can hear the beat. I made this whole setup, you know, the music in the background, this being amazing. This is going to be one of the most interesting podcasts you've ever been on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is the Prince Dr. Chukwemeka Edward Attah-Edeh, Anyawuna Waroha Wanofabugu. For your friends, my friends, they call me Eddy4ShoT's. It's a pleasure to have you on the other side of the listening wave. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my other view angle and go live on Instagram. And gentlemen, ladies, I will introduce my guests shortly. Bear with me. All right. Okay, so we are live on that one. So my mouse out. All right. I'm going to introduce my guests now. I'll introduce them one by one. I'll have them talk about themselves, tell them who they are. I have many guests from all over the world. They're coming in soon. Hopefully, they will join us. There's some people joining us on Instagram. So thank you guys for joining us. We are live on Instagram as well. So welcome. I would love your questions as we're talking about today's topic. Today's topic is going to be on transportation. Yes, transportation, which is unique and beautiful, it's vast and broad, and it's going to be on transportation, and we're going to narrow down on rubber, and we're going to talk about this. But ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce yes. I'm going to now bring them into the show. Let's see. Mo, can you please turn on your camera? Let's have a mic check from you guys. Okay, go ahead and unmute yourself when you guys are ready. Mic check. Alex, can you do a mic check?
Mic check, is it working?
Yeah, this is working. We can hear you loud and clear. What about you, Mo? Can you do a mic check for us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we are live. I'm loving this. This is interesting already. Let's see how we can get this started, ladies and gentlemen. So what I will start the topic with is basically talking about transportation. I have these gentlemen here, and they're going to talk about transportation. They're going to talk about what they know about transportation, or maybe what they think they know about transportation. Or my own goal is just to introduce myself, introduce these guys. Maybe they can tell us about things that they like, things that they don't like, things that they might interest them, things that might not interest them, and these things will make us have a good topic. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, my name is Prince Dr. Chukwemeka Edward Attah-Edeh, Anyawuna Waroha Wanofabugu. And my friends, your friends, they call me Eddy4ShoT's. It's a pleasure to have you on the other side of the listening wave. And I would like to introduce my first guest. His name is Mohammed Sadiq. Mohammed, please, if you have the floor, if you would introduce yourself, tell us who you are. Let's go from there.
Just give me a few seconds.
Sure. It's always when we want to go live that we have somebody want us. Okay, well, I guess we could go. If you're not ready, we can go ahead and go with Alex to begin. Are you ready, Alex?
I'm ready, man.
All right, let's do this. Oh, is that Griselda? Oh, hi,
Yeah.
Griselda.
We got a special guest here.
Special guest, Griselda. Hi.
Yes, back again.
Oh, awesome. We're getting this started. Let's make it happen. Hi, welcome. Join us. Thank you for joining me. Is you running a radio station or a podcast? Bro, we're doing everything. We're having guests from the show. I wish I could add it to the stream here so that we can at least see the chats. But I'll find a way to do it. I'm still learning, guys. I'm still learning. One day I'll be good at all this and it will be great. So, gentlemen, please, Alex, you have the floor. Go ahead.
All right, guys. My name is Alex. I work at MedStar Georgetown. Used to be one of Eddie's co-workers. I've lived in the DC area for most of my life. So basically, as far as transportation goes, very familiar with the metro, very familiar with the horrendous traffic that we got in this area. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say because personally, I'm a big fan of the possibilities from self-driving cars. But recently, I've just gotten into getting around on an electric bike, which is good for my my lazy butt. Man, I don't like pedaling all the time. I like to crank it up and feel like a little kid on a somewhat like tiny motorcycle. So transportation's all up and down here. So great to see you guys.
Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you for joining us on the show. Thank you so much. I'm going to give now the floor to Mohammed. Please go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, who you are, and what you think about the topic transportation and in rubber.
So my name is Mohammed. I used to be Eddie's colleague at Kaplan, and then volunteered for a whole year almost at Georgetown Hospital until COVID hit and they canceled the volunteering program. Currently in a clinic, in a small clinic as an MA. So yeah, regarding the traffic, I have lived in DC for 4 years and then in Virginia for another 4 years. So I have noticed that in DC, it's very convenient. It's acceptable not to have a car. But the problem is, if you get a car, then you'll have a problem in parking and tickets. They have lots of cameras. Honestly, I'm going to share something personal. I have been renting a car and working as a side job, as a side gig, Uber and Lyft. And I was shocked. 1 week ago, I received 5 tickets.
What?
5 tickets. No kidding you.
5 tickets.
Yeah, but the thing is that it wasn't under my name, but I still have to like pay it off to the people I'm renting from. Yeah, and you have to be very careful because in DC, one thing I want to point out, even if you're following the speed limit, sometimes it changes, especially if you're close to a school zone. You know, you have to be very, very aware of the lights and so on. But otherwise, in Virginia, you definitely need a car, definitely, because it's it's very. You can manage with buses, but it can take you like 2 hours, 1.5 hours. You know.
So like, if I want to get to the questioning part about this podcast, right? Which is like, because a lot of people definitely use transportation differently, you know, and they have like some use public transport, some people use electric cars, you rent, I drive, some people walk, you know, and it's a vast array of different types of ways to use transportation. And there's one thing I found that all of these transportation things kind of share in common. They all have rubber involved in it.
They have what?
Rubber.
Robots? Really?
Rubber. Yeah, rubber. So you'll be like, okay, rubber. How do you mean rubber? Let's talk about tires, for example. Tires are made of rubber, no?
Yeah.
And the tires that are made of rubber are like so unique in a way that they are actually vulcanized and galvanized rubber. I just realized my hands are ashy, sorry. Hey, I need some lotion to make it lubricated. And there's another thing that rubber has. It has a lubricating function. Yes, there are gaskets in engines that are sealed with rubber bands or something like that, right? The gaskets are made of rubber. Rubber can be an efficient remover of ashiness of my hand. Like if I took a rubber eraser and I rubbed it here, it will actually create a sheen over there, right? So rubber has so many uses, which is very, very interesting. I want you guys to tell me a little bit about yourselves. When was the first time you got on a traveling transportation, any mode of transportation? What was the first thing you'd say? I can start first. I'd be like, the first time I got in a mode of transportation was probably when I was in the village, right? And we had to come to the city. And my dad, or my mom actually, was the one that started. My dad woke us up, my mom then got us ready. Then we got on the bus and then we drove out to the city. And I was just looking around, it was so marvelous, like this giant beast that's driving and everybody's just sitting and quiet and everybody's quiet. And my mom is like, you have to walk around the road, you have to be quiet, don't dally on the road, cross the road quickly. And in Nigeria, I don't know if you guys know how the traffic is, at least here, if you're walking on the road, right, the police, the drivers can slow down for you and wait for you to pass. That option is not really available in most places in Nigeria, right? So it's really unique when I have those kind of situations where I remember that how far I came from, knowing the first thing I saw was probably a motorcycle, bicycle, from bicycle to car, from a car to a lorry, from a lorry to a train, from a train to a plane. You understand? So please, I'll leave the floor to you guys. Tell me the first things you guys saw. Someone is saying rubber, plastics. Yes, on the show here. Just LinkedIn here in London. I prefer to use subway and buses. In fact, public transit is in this metropolitan city. Thank you, Mr. Pipsties. He's Pipsties on Instagram. He shared with us and in a very interesting joint. He said that he uses in public transport in London. So I want you guys to tell me a little bit about transportation. Who wants to go first?
Sure, I'll take it. My first real run-ins with public transportation was with the school bus. Growing up in Northern Virginia, man, like we were kind of like halfway between the city, the suburbs, and the woods, and just like a real good mix of everything. And when you're on the school bus, man, it was rowdy times. You know, no seatbelts for all these kids. We're flying through the woods and creating havoc in the back of that bus, and it's good times. Which is funny to think of because now, man, I haven't taken a bus besides that Georgetown shuttle, man. I haven't taken a bus in a long time. It's a different vibe. There's no more like the goofing around in the back seat. Buses are very strange to me now. One thing I'm real fascinated about, and another mode of transportation I grew up with is, like bicycles and scooters. I noticed like after college, those like Lime scooters, the Bird scooters were becoming real big.
Yes.
Rubber tires in those. You got the city bikes. You know, they're made of like some real cheap plastic, but they got rubber tires. The shoes you walk on, rubber soles, man. Rubber's everywhere in transportation. It's a weird connection to make.
Yeah.
Now I made that connection. I tried to invest in it. I was like, well, everyone needs rubber to get around. Let me invest in some rubber. I'll tell you right now, that was a big mistake. I didn't make any money investing in no rubber. So,
what kind of rubber did you invest in?
I invested in, it started with a C, Carlisle. They do rubber. I guess not the right kind of rubber, though. No Carlisle plug here for me.
No Carlisle plug from here. Hey, either way, shout out to Carlisle. They make some good rubbers, apparently.
I'm sure
they are
do.
Interested to go invest in them. Yes, man, we really appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate you for sharing that with us. It's really interesting, learning about how rubber is unique in all of this. You would say, it's made of iron, obviously. Yes, but at the core of it, what makes it function is rubber. Most of these things, the seal in the gas tank, for example, right? You have to have this rubber seal so that it creates an airtight pocket where air cannot pass through or water cannot pass through. Rubber is so efficient in making our days a little easier. Rubber can be in our microphone, right? The diaphragm in the microphone is similar to rubber. It's the rubber properties that people have used these days to create new diaphragms. In the olden days, you know how they used to extract rubber? They would go to a tree, they would make a slice in the tree, The rubber tree is a tree that exists in um, tropical part of the world, like Brazil, like Nigeria, like Congo, like where else is a good exporter of rubber? In the South Americas. Yes, there are so many countries down in South America that export rubber as their daily goods. Back in the day when rubber was a good export, you cut in the tree, you make an incision. When that incision is made, you put a gourd or something to catch all of that. You put a gourd or something to catch all of that. Let me put this thing just showing my ashy hands. Forgive me. Yeah, you put a gourd to catch all of that rubber nectar. And as the nectar is flowing into the gourd, what ends up happening is that you can get that and process it, and you end up making a good product down the line, right? So, Mohammed, I don't know if you would like to join and say something about this, about the topic. Tell us what you think about rubber transportation. The floor is your court. The court is your floor. Hold on. I can't hear you. Come again.
Yeah, I remember seeing a documentary, like a mini documentary. They said Malaysia is one of the biggest producer of tires and rubber. Yeah, and at some point I used to think, other than plants, is there any petroleum or polymer product that can be used as rubber? I used to, I know it's a plant-based thing, but is it possible to have it from petroleum? Like as a modification of plastic, can you modify plastic to get a sort of rubbery material? Have you ever thought about that?
I mean, you could melt plastic and add some gelatinous powder that will make it springy. Mm-hmm. Yes, that is possible.
Mm-hmm. So there's one thing I heard, and it was skateboard wheels. The original skateboards that they made had these hard wheels that, you would slide around too much, and the wear and tear wouldn't allow you to keep the board for too long. But around when like Zephyr skateboards were coming out back in like the 70s, they adopted these polyurethane wheels that were very similar to like the longboard wheels you'll use today. And they last a lot longer. It's a smoother ride. You're not gonna get messed up by like hitting one pebble in the street. So that's about maybe all I've known about plastic being similar to rubber in that aspect.
Interesting. Let me see if I can add these guys. Somebody on the you guys can give us comments. And yes, rubber. Someone is asking rubber, plastics, and I'm like, yes, it's rubber and plastic. We're talking about rubber and transportation. So we're talking about transportation as a topic and rubber as a topic. So they're asking on the Instagram live. Yes, you are very correct in saying that you've not seen many things that rubber play a key role in, because rubber is usually hidden. Rubber is usually under the surface. It is the foundation of many buildings. The tires that lift the forklift, that lift the planks. That is the foundation of a building right there. If you cannot get the forklift to the site, you cannot get your building to start up. So technically, the foundation of everything boils down to rubber. I do love the fact that we are here on this topic, talking about vast things like this, and I want you guys to share a little bit about your adult life and how rubber has been how rubber has been an influence in making adulthood, a little easier, a little harder. You name it. I don't know what it is. You tell me. I would think it would be a good topic to talk about in adulthood. We've talked about childhood, talked about middle age, right? And now let's talk about adulthood. Rubber in adulthood has allowed us to have things like gloves, right? Gloves are very good things. Now you can take gloves in many different directions. In the surgery room, you can have a glove that allows you to stay a little sterile. What it does is it creates a barrier between yourself and the bacteria you contain, and the patient and the bacteria they contain. And that allows a little bit of bacterial transfer to occur, little or minuscule. Next to me, we're not saying it is where there's zero bacteria being transferred. We're saying that the amount of bacteria transferred is very minuscule, thanks to the rubber glove, for example, right? back in the day, we used to have latex rubber gloves. Now people are kind of um, allergic to the latex rubber gloves. So we have nitrile rubber gloves now and things. But either way, it's the rubber at the come. We could have gloves like those in the welding section that have these welder gloves that operates fine electrical machineries and they don't want to get shocked. So rubber is a good insulator, right? So they use rubber to stop themselves from getting shocked in situations like that. Another use of rubber in adulthood would be like aprons in steel mills and manufacturing places, right? Where they are melting heavy equipment. They wear this rubber linen under the aluminium foil, to add another layer of ductile parts. Then rubber helps in the hose that the firemen use, in the cars you use, in many things that you use. Rubber is a very fascinating structure. Another thing down south that rubber is good for is preventing human beings from being born. So rubber, rubber, rubber has given us the ability to create many things, and rubber has also given us the ability to stop many things. So rubber has given us the ability to stop many. Can you tell us, Alex, has rubber done in your adulthood? So what are the things that rubber has helped you get through?
Namely sticking out, besides the obvious, is the COVID-19 pandemic, man. People started wearing gloves like crazy. And I was just looking up here. It says during the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a spike in rubber prices by about 30%. So it was definitely, you got to imagine with the PPE usage, how the world just kind of turned. Because before that, we were using water fountains, we weren't wearing masks, everybody's breathing in each other's faces, and the whole world had to act different after that. Not just like in day-to-day interactions, but the economy, I feel like, had to act different. People were using more safety measures, and I guess rubber's kind of synonymous with protection, with safety. As people become more aware of diseases, and I'm sure like with the AIDS epidemic, HIV and all that, when that popped up, there was probably a lot more usage of that down south rubber, Yeah. And that's, rubber is like one of the tests of time where as soon as we need protection, especially from like, bacteria, viruses, all that, rubber's going to come first. But it's interesting. I think the interesting thing you brought up is like the allergies. That some people, they can't do that. So like, what are the alternatives? What is it about rubber that people are allergic to? Maybe that's like a real deep biological question, but like, what are the alternatives if you can't do that? That's interesting to me.
That's a good question. That's a great question, actually, because yes, I would like to know what is it about rubber that is so, that your body now starts to like reject it. This is something that has helped generations of human beings, right? And we can narrow it down to all allergies, right? All allergies, like back in the day, somebody could just go dig up a mushroom, chew on it, and they discover that, oh, this one is a good mushroom, this one is a bad mushroom, right? Somewhere down the line, somebody's now allergic to mushroom. Somewhere down the line, someone is now allergic to rubber products, right? Someone's allergic to rubber product that used back in the day, everybody was born with it. So what is it about allergies and our body? I would love to answer. So yes, I kind of connect with you on that question. Let me give the floor now to Mohammed. Go ahead.
That's a good question, actually. But the thing is that we can think about it in another way. Why are some people allergic to peanuts or fish or bananas? Even though it have been used through thousands of years, like thousands of people have been consuming it, but for some reason, some people are just allergic to this thing, allergic to this substance.
It's a deeper dive on allergy and what our body sees as foreign. These days, due to our much needed increase to cleanse our environment of quote unquote dirt, it has stopped us from getting the natural bacteria we would have gotten Like for example, right? When was the last time you went out to the park to play? Now, I'm hoping you haven't been going out to the park to play.
I mean, I mean, just 2 weeks ago, I fell outside from a bike.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Okay, good, great. Okay, so you fell on the bike. That's a good connection right there. You fell. You were riding a bike. Well, rubber played a good part in that. And probably the band-aid you used to cover the injury was probably made of rubber somehow, right? So,
But I'll share you something personal. I wish I had rubber elbow protection. You know.
Yeah.
On my
You should have
elbow.
worn the full gear, helmet. Were you wearing a helmet?
No. Because the thing is that I was just moving few minutes. Like I wasn't in the middle of the road yet.
Hey, this is one thing I always tell people I meet, and I tell them this. Yes, life is fruity. Life is full of beautiful juices, right? Alex is laughing because he knows exactly where I'm getting to. Life is fruity. It's full of beautiful juices. But there's one thing that will happen to you, right? You can wake up, you can have every day good. Every day is having, you're jumping, you're pretty, you're laughing, enjoying yourself. One day you sleep on a banana and you turn to a vegetable.
That's so strange.
A great proverb from the great.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, but what I say is that, look, you live your life in this now. Live your life in the moment. Live your life in now. Try to at least keep yourself able to say, future me, I'm healthy. I hope you're healthy. Future you could be the end tomorrow. Future you could be the end in 90 years. Future you could be end in forever. Now that we have digital immortality, we can store ourselves forever in the cloud. We can store ourselves in like rubber chips that can flick away and all your life is forgotten. You can be immortal if you choose to be, based on your type of technological awareness. You can remember, people can remember you in their mind forever if you go spiritual route. People can remember you in your works forever if you go scientific route. And people can remember you in your deeds forever if you do just good deeds in the world. Right? So I can give you an example of people that will forever be remembered, right? Albert Einstein, for example. If I just say that name, a baby knows that name. Albert Einstein is a name that everybody is familiar with, right? One thing that he has done is make the world a little bit more understandable, and now he's going to be immortalized forever as somebody that wrote the sentence E equals MC squared. 37% of people don't even know what that means, but they will wear it on their shirt, right? So if true immortality is being remembered, and I think there was a king in Sparta that once said that, I think it was the fight of Sparta, that he doesn't want any crown, he doesn't want any glory, he just wants to be remembered. And that's the message he sent back. Say, remember us for what we did. That's all. That we lived, we survived, we existed. Remember us. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank you guys for joining us on this podcast. It has been really amazing. If you guys want to tell us about something you guys like, you guys want to share with the public, this would be a great time to do so. So please go ahead and floor is your court, sir.
I don't know if I got anything to share with the public, man.
We didn't talk
Just
much
good
about
vibes, spread
adult
good vibes out with the public.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Spread some good vibes with everyone you meet, because, you know, as simple as like saying hi to someone, there's a lot of negativity out there, man, especially up in DC. I always say that's where Southern hospitality ends. So, you know, you gotta keep those vibes going, push it a little further north. People respect that.
Facts. I like that. Thank you for sharing that. Mohammed, do you have anything you think the audience would like to hear? Something good, something bad, something in between? I don't know. It's 2024.
Well, this is it's great to be with the first podcast stream with you. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are two first timers on the show. Normally, I
Heck yeah.
usually have an old timer and a first timer. So this is the unique where I have two new timers coming in, right? Coming in with words of facts and wisdom. This has been amazing. I would love to do this over and over again. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so like I honestly enjoyed this. It's like a versatile topic. It branches everywhere, you know. Now, can you imagine if I open a door, I'll see the rubber around the
Yes.
fences, and
Yes.
then I'll remember.
Yes, you remember this podcast, Flyed on the Wall with Eddy4ShoT's, Alex and Mo. We talked about transportation and rubber, right? Everybody, we don't know, once they walk out now, they'll be like, oh, let's see rubber still around my door. Rubber. They'll look at their shoe. Oh, it's a little bit rubbery, okay? They'll touch a gelatinous mass. Oh, that's a rubbery texture. So many. Rubber is so versatile. It reaches everything from crawling to space travel.
It does. You gotta wonder where that rubber's gonna come from when we colonize another planet, man. Is it gonna be there? Or are we gonna have some new type? We don't know.
Yeah.
That's a good one. New type of rubber. So when we go, right? You're saying when we go to a new planet, we will need what makes rubber for us, correct?
Mm-hmm. So plants.
Thank you. Now I want you to think back, right? What was Elon Musk's first mission to do before he started his SpaceX factory and everything? He was a billionaire, or he's a billionaire still, but back then he was a billionaire. He said, I want to launch a greenhouse to Mars. Launch the greenhouse to Mars, put a live stream on the greenhouse, and watch people and watch the plants grow on another planet. NASA kind of and did other things like pictures and taking pictures. They did great things. Don't get me wrong, they did great things. They took pictures of Mars, they studied the planet, studied the weather, they did all these beautiful things. But one thing Elon Musk was kind of hacking on was that, hey, this is an opportunity for us to go to a different planet, spread our civilization a little bit further than what we are used to. And it will be a great time for us to do so because we've been born in this era that is unique beyond all reasonable doubt. I don't know, I'm having some echo on this side. Is that happening on your side? Let me mute you real quick. Forgive me. Yeah, so just to summarize this whole topic, right? I'm bringing us back to where we started from. One, transportation is unique from when we are crawling all the way to space travel. You know, it is ubiquitous that we use some form of transportation. If you are not using any form of transportation, you are now in the olden world, you'll be called an invalid. In the modern world, you'll be called a handicap because you have wheelchairs, you have abilities, and soon you'll be called a superhuman. Why? I'll give you an example of the Neuralink. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Neuralink, giving somebody the ability to control chessboards with their head, with their mind. They have the threads going into the human being's brain and reading and writing to those locations in the brain. And the rubber gasket that seals it, again, rubber, yes, creates a perfect seal, right? That way bacteria cannot go in and out. So soon, these people will be able to control robots that can do everything better than you and I. So now, who is invalid? Technology allows and equalizes the playing field, makes it unique that everybody is on the level playing ground and starts off at a good side. My goal with this podcast is to enlighten people and have people, share their minds. Even if you don't know anything about the topic, it's a great opportunity to learn something. You might not learn something about the topic, you might learn something about the world, you might learn something about somebody, you might get a different perspective about the world based on what you see on this podcast. This has been the Flyed on the Wall podcast. I really, really appreciate my guests, Alex and Mohammed, for joining me. They are from two different parts of the world. Alex, tell us where your family is from. And Mohammed, you tell us where your family is.
One half is from Italy, down in Naples, Italy. The other half is from northern Mexico.
Ooh, nice. You're a workaholic.
Yes, and I think I'm the second generation of ones born here, second or third generation born here. But other than that, man, we were all immigrants. I didn't come from this country. Like my bloodline doesn't start in the U.S., but that's where it's made its way to somehow or another.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. What about you, Mo? Where are you from? Where is your family from?
Quick question: if
please.
Italy is playing against Mexico, who do you cheer for? Who do you stand?
I gotta choose Mexico. They're the underdog, man. Italy's won the World Cup.
Yeah.
They've won whatever they need to. It's Mexico's time.
Great answer. Great answer. I always root for the underdog. Yes. You don't punch down, punch up.
Do you speak Italian?
No, I speak a little bit of Spanish. Never learned any Italian though.
Really?
Yeah, never learned it.
No habla italiano?
No parmesan, baby.
Chitarra in mano.
Parmesan Mario Cartel. Yes. All right, Mohammed, please go ahead and let us know.
Originally, my family is from Sudan.
Okay. Wow, Sudan. Like what? Is it Sudan before it was split or Sudan itself?
No, actually, north of Sudan.
Oh,
it's actually very, very close with my family, the origins. We used to be with the borders with Egypt. Literally. Yeah. We have actually our own language. It's called Nubians. Have you ever heard about Nubians?
I've heard of Nubians.
Yeah.
You are Nubians.
Yeah, exactly.
Nubian.
We have more pyramids. Okay, I'm gonna quiz all of you. Do you know what's the country with the most number of pyramids in the world?
Guys, give us a comment if you know this right here. Write in the comments if you know what's the country with the most amount of what?
Pyramids
in the world. Write that in the comments. Let's see your action. We're giving you 10 seconds. I think I might know. Alex, what you go first?
I'm gonna go once again root for the underdog. I know Mexico's got some pyramids. I don't know if they got the most of them, but it's gotta be somewhere in the top 10. I'm guessing.
Okay.
What are the answers?
Let me try and answer. I think the country with the most pyramids might be Sudan.
Yes.
Former Nubia. Yeah.
How many? You think?
I think it's like 3 times or 5 times as many pyramids.
As it's actually 220 almost. Yeah, 220 in Sudan. Egypt has like 110.
Wow.
See? But people don't talk about the pyramids in Sudan. The Marathon. Yeah.
Well, how come they don't talk about it? Are they like...
Just like sometimes media ignores, they ignore, they glorify the bigger one, the size. Egypt, the pyramids in Egypt.
So the ones in Nubia are small. They're like shrunken.
A bit smaller. And by the way, do you know there's if you look at the top of the pyramids, many of them in Sudan, they're blown apart by dynamites, because there was an Italian explorer who blew them, who used dynamites and explosives to grab gold from inside. For real.
Oh.
Hey, Alex, your family members are doing this.
we don't claim that.
They were doing conquest in Sudan. Yes.
I do know the Italians like to mess around in Africa for a bit of time. Few people kicked them out. Props to that.
Yeah,
do you know which countries? Do you know which countries were under Italian control or colonization?
I know that they could not get Ethiopia.
What other country they had some control of?
Tripoli sticks out to me. I know Tripoli is in Libya.
Libya, yeah.
Libya. So
Yeah.
I would guess that sounds Italian to me.
Libya, really? There's a famous guy. His name is Omar al-Mukhtar. He's like a freedom fighter. He's like it's one of the famous characters in Libyan history, liberation history. Yeah, and I think Somalia. I'm not sure. Somalia was Italian too. I'm not very sure. Have to check.
We'll have to see what their food says about it.
Yeah.
Because you got to imagine if the Italians come in, they're going to introduce some spaghetti, some tomato sauce in there, and it's going to stick with the food.
Do you know who invaded Italy? Like who invaded the Romans many years ago? With elephants.
With the elephants, the Persians, right?
No, the Carthaginians. The people from Carthage, which is Tunisia, nowadays Tunisia.
Okay, they have elephants down there, huh?
Yeah, no, but do you know how they did it? They did it from Spain. Like they went through the Alps. Like they shocked the Romans.
That's right. It was that Hannibal?
Yeah, exactly. Hannibal.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah. Where did Eddy go?
I apologize for not taking it back again. Yeah, sorry.
We were just talking about a nation that invaded Italy with elephants. An African nation. Yeah,
what
like Rome.
The
Carthaginians. Hannibal. Have you ever heard about Hannibal?
I've heard of Hannibal. Is it? You're not talking about Hannibal Lecter now, right? That is from the movie, right?
No, Hannibal, the real.
The actual Indian conquistador.
No, it's nowadays Tunisia, the empire. Yeah,
he's the one with the elephants, no?
Yeah, he took the elephants through Spain, Iberia, the Iberian Peninsula at that time, through France, and then he went through the Alps mountain with elephants, and he invaded Italy from the north. Can you imagine? Like Rome, I mean, yeah.
Insane. This man is on a different level.
Yeah.
What?
Talk about transportation, man. That's a transportation nightmare. Trying to get an elephant over the Alps.
That is insane.
Yeah, taking African elephants into the snow in the Alps.
What?
Oh, I bet the elephants hated that.
Yeah, I bet. They were probably pissed off. They were like, they're like, oh hell no. Talk about the shrinkage on that. I mean, you know what cold does to rubber, right? It's like, oh, very icy, very strong. It becomes hard. It's not good, you know? Yeah.
Is that why I got to fill up my tires more in the winter?
Well, that is actually a very good question. Ooh, this is a very good chance.
No. Do you want to answer, Eddy?
Oh, please go ahead and answer, and then I'll give my answer. How about that?
What is inside of the tires?
I'm asking. Pressurized air.
Okay, what happens to any substance when it gets cold?
I guess it gets slower, right?
No,
the air molecule.
It gets, the atoms gets closer to each other.
Because he's correct, because they slow down.
Yes, so the expansion is less.
He's correct. Oh, that is beautiful, Alex. Yes, you are right, because they are slowing down. But what is causing temperature? Temperature is the average measure of motion.
Yes.
That's why it's measured in kilojoules. Yes. So you just look, if you are checking a thermometer of something, you're checking how fast are the atoms wiggling around, and that what gives you your temperature. So yes, you are correct. You are correct in that it slows down. But then, what happens when you transit from phase to phase? When you are going from a gas to a liquid, things are slowing down and coming closer together. What happens to density?
The density will increase if it gets closer.
So if density increases, space volume will drop, and that will create some kind of vacuum, and that vacuum is what sucks your tire smaller.
Huh?
Why do they use a hot air balloon? Why?
I never thought of that.
Because the air with the hot air makes it less dense.
Huh?
Yeah. They don't use, in hot air balloon, they don't use helium. They just heat the air.
And that makes it rise because the hot air will rise up. Okay.
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
But then you won't catch me in one of those things, man. That's
I want to ask you something.
Transportation.
Wait, in your home right now, have you noticed, do you have radiators, or have you been to a home with radiators?
Oh, yeah.
Where do you find the radiator?
You usually find them like by the window, right?
Yeah, but at the bottom, right?
At the bottom, because the heat's gotta rise.
Yeah, because when it heats up, the hot air goes up. What about AC vents? Where do you find them usually?
Up on the ceiling.
Why?
Because the cool air is gonna come down.
Yeah, exactly. And the heat and the hot air down will go up and it causes like a circle.
Circulation. Yes,
Yeah.
and that was causes
Ah,
ventilation in your house.
circulation.
Yes.
See, it's a
Let's
good thing I'm
go.
not
We
HVAC,
have
man.
educated people on this podcast. Ah,
Yeah.
that's what we like to see. We like to learn. We like to teach. We like to think. Yes, please go ahead. Hannibal Lecter crossing the Alps. Sorry, I pulled us away from that.
It's not Hannibal Lecter.
Not Hannibal Lecter. Sorry, Hannibal, the God's kingdom. What is his title? I don't know.
What
What is Hannibal's title?
title? I don't think he's an emperor. He's a.
He was a general, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
I'm not sure.
I think we can search that. We have the most advanced things in the world today called technology in the palm of our hands. We can find out information like at the flick of a wrist, right? So let's find out what Hannibal this thing was. Hannibal. No. I'm saying Hannibal Rising, Hannibal movie, Hannibal show, Hannibal burgers. Hannibal. Okay, I'll write general. And we'll see. Alright. So if this is the person we're talking about, is Hannibal Barca. He was a Carthaginian general and statesman who commanded the forces of Carthage in their battle against the Roman Republic during the Second Punic War. So I'm guessing they had the First Punic War. Okay. Hannibal's father, Hamilcar Barca, was a leading Carthaginian general during the First Punic War. So, First Punic War, his father fought in. Second Punic War, I'm guessing he was a general in that Punic War. So, yes, go ahead.
About what?
Hannibal, you are saying he crossing the Alps.
Oh yeah, he crossed the Alps. He. That's the description how he attacked Roman Empire. He went through the. So if you see the map, Tunisia or Carthage is actually closer by the sea. You just cross the sea and go to Rome. So the thing is that the least expected way, the Romans didn't think at all. Like, didn't think that Hannibal will take the long route and attack them from the north. That's why it was devastating. Like, literally, they destroyed the army. I think some people say like 100,000 died in one day.
What?
Yeah, it was very bad. It was a massacre. But you know that even Hannibal's brother died in that massacre.
Wow.
And I don't know exactly the details, but then the Romans did something strange. They tried to. What they did is that they gave an illusion to Hannibal that they went to Carthage. They went and they got like some grapes from like Tunisia or Carthage, and then they made him afraid. They scared him. He was so worried that they have attacked his homeland.
Wow.
So he retreated. He
He
retreated, and then unfortunately, some people say he committed suicide. Something. Hannibal.
That's how he ended himself. Wow. That's interesting knowledge on that. Whoever thought transportation and rubber would get us to Hannibal crossing the Alps and invading Italy. That's what I like about this podcast. Hey, but we can understand it because why? Somehow, somewhere, there had to have been what? Rubber. And there had to be transportation, right? Those two things played a key role in moving Hannibal from where he was all the way to Carthage, all the way to the Alps, all the way to Italy, all the way to attacking Rome. So, like, that is just magnificent how rubber probably played a very good role in that because I'm sure their drums were made of rubber.
They're drones?
Yes. In fact, one thing that they do in war is not those kind of drums.
Oh no, I thought you said drones.
No, not drones. No. I don't think Romans had drones. I'm just imagining this Roman Empire with like drones. Like, oh yeah.
What's the connection between rubber and politics?
Money.
No, people burn rubber when they protest. Do you see in Nigeria they burn tires, or in Africa,
That is a very good connection right there.
in the middle of the roads. I mean, it became iconic all over the news.
Yes, that's unique. That is unique. Yes. Wow, I never wow, yes. You are so right. 100% correct. People burn tires when it is political strife.
Yeah.
And when they do that, it creates like a darker smoke, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's so
You know
people,
why
it's like
that
more
is?
noticeable. It's more in your face type of protest.
Yes, that's the when you burn rubber in a protest, like you mean business. Like, hey,
Oh yeah.
but now, once the tire starts flying, you know that shit has hit the fan. Just get out of there. Okay. Okay.
And another thing, you know what's unique about rubber? Like, why not plastic? In India and many countries, they actually, they literally peel, when you use a tire for many months and it gets eroded, the features gets
breaks down and
raised. Yeah. So what they do, they have a special machine. They remove a layer of it and then they apply, they literally as a paste. As a liquid rubber thing, and then they heat it up and they recreate a new rubber, a new tire. You should see they have many videos like how they recreate, remake rubber.
So it's recyclable to an extent.
What?
That takes recycling to a whole new level.
No, actually, they do it so much. It's like a business in India and many countries, Pakistan and so on. Yeah. They peel that outside part and then they literally put a liquid, and they have like a casting, like a metal thing to give the shapes of the rubber, of the tire.
So like a mold that creates the shape of the tire, and they print it on that.
Yeah, on the top. Yeah.
Oh, that is very nice. That's smart, because think about it that way, you're not wasting all those rubber and you're not going to landfills, you're not going to the ocean, you're not killing turtles and whatnot. They're now being used again on the road. Good.
Exactly.
And to answer your question, why is the smoke darker? It's because of the carbon content inside the rubber. So to make vulcanized or galvanized rubber, which is used in most tires, they add in carbon. Carbon can come in different forms, from charcoal or refined carbon, and they add it into the mix of the rubber. That strengthens the rubber, but drops its opacity. So it becomes very, very dark, and that's the blackness you see on the road. Now, do you know that is directly linked to particulates in the air? Because those things get broken down, they get worn on by rain, broken down by cars running over them, they become particulate matter, and then they float up into the air and become PCM 2.0 or so.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that it contributes in the particles in the air. That's a good point.
Yeah, it does contribute in the particles of the air. Smog kind of plays a good role in that. When you heat up rubber in protests, right, what happens is that all of that smoke gets lifted up into the atmosphere, and by the time it gets backing down, it doesn't really fall all the way. It kind of sticks on a layer and creates this second layer of cloud that kind of darkens the city.
Like a suit.
Like a suit, or like a dome. Yes. Gentlemen, I do appreciate this. This has been a wonderful conversation. I cannot buy this for $1 million. I like to say, the conversation I have with people are like so rich. It makes me happy beyond all reasonable doubt. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. It has been an absolute pleasure. I do want to use this time to give us a shout out. For those who have been joining us, watching on live on Instagram and whatnot. Oh, look, we got an explosion, right? Which is very cool. We like that. We hope that we are getting this on multiple channels. You get the likes and the subscribe. See, get a bubble over here too. And if you give us a good thumbs up, this will be a good time to tell our audience that we like them to continue to watch. Yes, if you guys would like to give us a shout out, Mo, you want to go first?
Well, thank you for hosting this. It was very a pleasure, honestly.
Understood. Thank you so much. Just want to give us a like, shout out, something for the fans that are watching. Tell
I
them,
mean,
oh, like and subscribe, things like that.
yeah, of course. Like, definitely, I ask everyone, like, just be kind enough to subscribe, put the like button, maybe, what is it called?
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah, like the support. Do you have any store, by the way? Yes, with your
Um, I would love to have a store. So if you people know how to make store, you guys can reach out to me. That would be awesome. I'm still new in all these things. I'm learning well how to make it virtual. I don't want to do my podcast in person, so I have tons of videos that I've not uploaded yet, and they're coming out little by little. So if you guys look on the Eddy4ShoT's podcast, I'll probably put a link somewhere in the top side, and like it will show you guys something like that. So how about you, Alex? Do you have anything? Mo, are you done, Mo?
Yeah.
Thank you kindly, sire. Mo, Alex, you want to go ahead?
I'll just give a shout out to you, Eddie, man.
Hey.
These are the type of conversations we used to have at work all the time, man.
Yes.
This is the stuff it's essential to like grow in your mind. Like you can start with one thing and it evolves into a million others. So thank you for having me, man. It's great to see, your hard work coming to fruition like this, man. The first podcast I've ever been on. It's a great experience, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. These are the podcasts always is. We always try to have fun. Always ask very perplexing questions that branch out and tangent into the infinity. And we hope to bring it back together to be a poster on the wall and have conversation with this. And the topic of this show is fly on the wall. I just like to be a fly on the wall somewhere where we have conversations. And if I'm the person hosting the microphone, even better. And I really appreciate you guys for joining me. This has been an absolute honor. Thank you so very much. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. I really like it. I'm going to use this opportunity now to end the stream. We'll still be in the background. You guys feel free to hang out, check out. This has been almost an hour. Oh, 4 minutes to an hour. Let's make it 1 hour. Why not?
Let's do it.
What can we do in 4 minutes to make an hour? Oh, perfect. Mo, I got a question for you. Since I know I've given this question to Alex and you probably asked it 1,000 times, but to be fun to have it, I don't think you've done it on the podcast before, have you?
I have what? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
That's perfectly fine. All right. Listen closely because these questions are connected. All right. Are you hearing? I want you to pay attention. It's a game that we have on the show all the time. Usually we used to have a book that we go through, but now it's fine. So I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. These questions are designed to check your attention span and kind of tells me a little bit of something about you, right? Now, pay attention because all the questions are connected. All right? Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Question. If you have 600 coconuts on a plane and one of them falls down, how many coconuts do you have left in the plane?
It's $5.99.
I like the way you think. Okay. Well, the answer to that would be $5.99, correct? If coconuts were allowed on planes.
And who said it's not allowed?
You have to put it on a cargo plane. You can't take coconuts on a plane. They are flammable. Search it on Google.
You have to ship them?
Yes, you have to ship them in a cargo plane. And of course, you won't let it fall down if it's in a cargo plane shipping. Right?
No, but the thing is that how coconut is flammable? How?
So the fibers are really dry when they are being moved. And coconuts, they keep themselves dry so that they can float on the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
That buoyancy thing. So they kind of, even though the inside of a coconut is watery, the outside, the fibrous part of the coconut is really dry and really, really easy to flake out. Those little flakes can spark. They can attract a spark and burn.
Like hay? Like hay?
Like hay, exactly like hay. Exactly like hay. And when in a flour mill, you don't carry matches in a flour mill. You don't carry a lighter in a flour mill because you could spark and the dust could ignite and that could be a massive explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Back in the day, we used to use coconuts to carry fire. So a part of the inside of coconut is non-flammable. The outside is super flammable.
Mm-hmm.
This double texture. I think I'll use that on my next podcast. We'll talk about coconuts and all the things that coconuts have done. And I think we just came up with a topic, right?
Have you
Second question.
used coconut oil for cooking?
Yeah. Yeah, it's cooking coconut oil. It doesn't get it.
I use also for cooking, and I never knew that some people even use it for meat. Like, it doesn't have to be cooking sweet things and cakes. You can literally cook a burger with coconut oil. Beef. Yeah.
And the cooking I was thinking about was like baking and making like coconut meals and additives. You can like add like coconut oil on top of it, give it like extra smell and taste. But
Yeah.
sure.
Do you know you can use coconut oil for something very healthy in the morning? What?
Please enlighten us.
Okay. Have you ever heard about bulletproof coffee? The concept of bulletproof coffee.
What is this concept? No, I've
So
never heard.
a bulletproof coffee. I mean, I know some people use it like as a brand and something, but a bulletproof coffee is a type of coffee. It doesn't have sugar, but it keeps you energized. So what they do is that they put like 1 spoon of coconut oil. Coconut oil. By the way, coconut oil has a very strange property. You can literally, it's solid. As soon as you touch it,
At room temperature, it's solid, yes?
Yeah, exactly. So you put it, you can buy the one from Costco. It's like high quality. It's like organic, raw, unpurified. It's amazing. So you take that one and put it in your mug, and then pour coffee into it and just stir it. Don't put sugar at all. So what happens is that throughout the day, you won't feel that fatigue of like from the insulin surge when you take sugar. So have you noticed when you take a sugary content or anything, you feel sleepy and drowsy?
Yeah.
So you don't get that sugar crush.
I think I can.
And the good thing is that it doesn't spike your insulin level like as much as sugar. And this fat will be broken down throughout the day. Slowly and slowly, you'll feel energized.
I think I know why. I'm kind of trying to conceptualize why the coconut is and why it helps you stay active longer. And there was something you said about it being rubbery that kind of led me towards this idea I'm going to bring, right? So we know how the digestive system works, right? It's a tube, and as things pass through that tube, they are absorbed into the wall and in, right? What do we know is absorbed? It has to be something that can pass through the membrane, right? So that thing doesn't have to be fatty. It has to be like glucose, protein, and breaking down the end form of fat, which is like glycerols and stuff, right? I'm guessing this is what leads to the effects of the coffee staying longer. Because you mix it with the coconut in that rubbery form, you actually encase some of the coffee in a seal of coconut oil, right? So that oil is keeping that is like a capsule, like the same way you take a tablet, right?
Like
So
a physical.
Yes, so it's like a physical capsule that goes in, and as it goes in through your intestine, and as it's being processed and melted down, that's when that coffee in its raw form is delivered directly to your gut. That's why you stay up longer, because you're just having more active ingredients of coffee in your gut. That's what I'm thinking.
But there's another thing that people forget about. The coconut oil itself gets broken down by lipolysis. It gives you longer. Remember in physiology or science, remember how many calories does 1 gram of fat gives you?
I believe it gives us about
9.
50.
Around 9.
Okay, 9.
Something like that. And sugar gives, I think, 4. I believe. And protein something like 6 or 7.
Yes, but the reason why fat gives you 9 is because it has to go through neoglyconeogenesis. That's the only reason why it gives you 9. Because at 6, it caps out and becomes ketone.
What's the
Get,
good thing about ketone?
well, ketone is great because it allows us to go into starvation mode gradually and keeps us alive in case of starvation is the only thing we have. So ketones are basically the end product of fat and protein, right? Your body has gone through all the normal breakdown of glycolysis, used up all the sugar storage in the liver. It now starts breaking down the actual. Oh, somebody's just joining us. Yeah, welcome, sir. It starts breaking down the actual fat of the gut. So it first starts with the sugar, then it goes to the proteins, then it goes to the lipids. Now, when it starts breaking down the lipids, it goes to the momentum booster, which is the normal storage of fat, and it breaks down all of that fat, pulls it into the intestine. Then starvation mode kicks in because now you don't have any momentum booster, any fat storage. What your body starts to create are these corpuscles of just solid lipids. And that's what the ketone is. The lipid and the fat together just bond in this tight HDL and LDLs and VLDLs. They're just bound in these forms. And those things are more harder to break down. And that's why we can store energy for longer during starvation.
But there's a good point also. Like ketones is one of the main fuel for your brain. Your brain uses ketones.
Only during starvation, though. That's the thing.
So
only during starvation, your brain will happily absorb glucose any day, happily.
Yes.
But if there is no glucose because you've used it all from the liver, you're not producing anyone from neoglycogenesis. You're not producing anyone from neoglycogenesis. Now it has to resort to ketones because ketones has a high sugar content or glucose content.
But that's why it's good to have coffee without the sugar. Because now you're forcing your brain to use the ketone. Almost.
Well, I guess no, you're not using ketone. You can't start using ketones until you cross a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
The ketones are like a milestone, right? When you reach, like when your gas, perfect example. You're driving your car, right? Mm-hmm. And your gas tank starts going down, right? It goes down to E. At E, you will say, hey, I need to fill my tank back up, right? It can reach E. At E, your car gas tank is not empty technically. There's still about, give or take, 12 miles of gas inside. If you continue running that thing, like if you take it to a mechanic and say, hey, run this until it dies, you will find out that gas tank will still fall below E. That falling below E, yes, you are using some leftover gas, but after now, you start actually eating your own engine. You're now using the parts of your engine to burn. Your car can still run, but you're destroying the mechanism that help you live.
You know, one thing I know about fats and energy is like the people way up north who eat like whale blubber.
Yeah.
That's like they can't get many vegetables or fruits up there, so they got to resort to that, and that gives them, small amounts of that blubber will give them enough energy to last. Maybe that's something,
That's good because blubber is another type of rubber. It's used to burn things, so it's very good. I like
insulating whales with their own blubber.
That is true. Yes, you are correct. People up north, because there are no vegetation to grow fruits and give them good vitamins and fruit, they have to gain fat some other way. And gaining fat, you can actually eat raw fat to stay warm, because this will create a layer of oil and water right in between your cells and the outside world. That fatty layer is what keeps whales warm in the frigid ocean. They dive down to 5 kilometers down. That's probably too down. What am I saying? Like 500 meters down, and they get like their speed, and they come back up maybe a little bit deeper than 1,000, 2,000 meters down. But these whales have this layer of protection of fat, right? And that fat is an insulating layer, also a rubber property, right? Rubbers have an insulating property that keeps heat stored. Now, for us, that is a source of energy. Why? Because you have the whale that has eaten all this food and all these creatures and has stored up all of their oils, their proteins, their sugars together in this corpuscle. For us, it's huge. That's why it gives us so much energy, because for a whale in its size, it would be the same way as getting a adipose tissue from you. If you eat an adipose tissue, you won't get any source of energy from it. But if an ant takes that, it will get a massive source of energy from that. The same thing from the whale and you.
Interesting.
We learn on this podcast. I love it. I love it so much. That's what this podcast is about. We do something, we diverge into something else. Want to close and asking questions, and then we're still going ahead to get deeper. That's what we love about the Eddy4Shot podcast. It can last 2 hours, it can last a whole day, because the way the thing is, it depends on what the topic is. It's interesting. If you have guests, we join, we talk. Yes, sir. So let me go ahead to the next question, right? How do you put an elephant into a fridge?
Very carefully.
Well, yes, so definitely. But don't hurt the elephant. That is the only trick.
What's this one? You get like open the door, shove them in.
No, bring the elephant during winter.
I'm trying to animal this, right? How do you mean bring the elephants during winter? That's a good question, because the world is already a fridge. That is actually very genius somehow. Think about it. The world then is at negative 40 degrees, right?
Yeah.
Alex, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he said if you bring them during winter, they are technically in the fridge. So he's technically right in that way. I mean, yeah.
True.
All right.
Yeah.
The answer to the question is you open the fridge, put the elephant in, and close the fridge. Oh, I have a fridge. I got prop. Yeah. We open the fridge, put the elephant in, and close the fridge.
Small elephant though.
Yeah, it could be a small elephant, it could be a large elephant. NASA has a fridge that's the size of almost a football field in capacity, so it can definitely fit an elephant. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate you for joining us this far. I have a few more questions to ask you before I let you guys go. I know it's been a long and interesting podcast. You guys, it's very interesting, and that's why we like it. Third question: how do you put a giraffe into that fridge?
Take out the elephant and put the giraffe.
Okay. Good. That's bad. That was actually correct. Yes, you put the elephant out, you put the giraffe in. That's bad. I like it. Good job. Yeah. Now you're thinking. All right. Next question, right? How do you... I already asked that. The next question after how do you put the giraffe into the fridge is you take the elephant out, put the giraffe in. That's correct. Next question. The king of the jungle is calling a meeting, and he wants every animal to be at that meeting. Which animal, no matter what it tries, can never come to that meeting?
The elephant, because he's stuck in the fridge.
No, that's the giraffe, man. Because the
Giraffe,
elephant is out.
you remove the elephant. It's the giraffe that's actually
the giraffe.
Yes, the giraffe that is stuck in the fridge. Yes, shows the power of your mind, right? The power of your mind is able to hold a whole giraffe that can kill a lion in a prey. That is unique. Okay. Next question. A hunter decided to go hunting. There's a known lake of crocodile. How will he get across the lake on that day?
Rubber boat.
Hey, I see what you did there.
I think this is the part in the test where I get lost.
No. I'll tell you. He asked the crocodiles to leave the lake, and then he swam.
The hunter asked the crocodile to leave the lake. The hunter, he's like, "Hey guys, oh yeah, I need to cross this place. Get out of here real quick." That's a powerful hunter right there, man. Powerful. Okay. Is that your
One
final
option.
answer?
Another option is you have there are other two options. You can feed throw an animal, like the hunter should hunt something and throw it in the lake. The crocodiles will be focusing on that animal and will leave the hunter to pass.
I like that thought process. It's a good thought process. Not bad. I mean, yeah.
I got it. He can just walk around the lake.
Why?
Why does he have to cross the lake?
That's a good question because it's a lake. You can just walk around it. That's good, man. Like, you have something like Lake Victoria that's like almost spanning 3 countries. So I don't know how you're going to cross it, but okay. You know, so like you might want to start walking, but it's much faster to just cross the lake than to walk around it. It's like the circumference could be infinite. I don't know if you've heard of the fractal circumferences of lakes and shores, where if you were to try to measure the coastal region of Norway, it runs into infinity.
Oh, sorry.
Have you heard of that?
I have 1%.
Your battery is
What did you
nearly
say?
there. Let's end this before your battery dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Last question. The hunter decided to cross. Okay, first of all, the hunter will be able to cross the lake because all the animals are in the meeting that the king of the jungle calls. Is it? Okay, you get it? All right, because they are in the meeting. All right, I think his own has finished. He's frozen. Yeah, his battery's gone. Okay, but okay, Alex, we can finish with you. Last 2 questions. Let's see. The hunter decided to cross the lake, but he still died. What killed him? You know, all the animals.
Probably because he can't swim.
Okay, that's a great question. That's a great answer. A great answer to the question, definitely. Because he can't swim, definitely passed away because of a drown. That's a good analogy, a good reason for why he did not make it, definitely. I would say, we can do this one. Nice. This is just us now. So, hello. If I do this, I'll put you in the middle. So,
There we go.
there we go.
2
All
Chukwu Meccas.
You got 1 Chukwemeka, 2 Chukwemeka. But yeah, anyway, we really love that. No, that was not the answer. That's not what killed him. So, what killed him was
The coconut.
that fell from the plane, hit him in the head, and he passed out. Thank you. You are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on this Eddy4ShoT's Slide on the Wall podcast. Always a marvelous show. We always have fun on the show. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining us. And more, we had the podcast until the battery died. I really appreciate that. You know, that is dedication to finishing this thing.
Big ups to Mo.
Yeah, big up to Mo, yeah, big up to Mohammed. Literally, you know, we are very good with our Muslim friends, yeah. You know, big up to him, man. Salam, very blessings of this day, right? Mohammed has been great. I really appreciate everyone that has been on the podcast watching us. You know, there are people that were live with us on the YouTube portion. Some people are live with us on Twitch. Some people are live with us on Instagram. And I really appreciate all the questions that came in. Instagram was limiting us big time, so we didn't get many viewers. But it has been interesting. For those who are coming back to watch and look on what has happened, we talked on transportation, right, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
We talked on transportation, we talked on rubber. For those who want to recap on this, I'll try to leave something in the comments. Alex, do you want to give a finishing statement? You know, let's round this up at 1, 2, 3.
All right. Never stop learning, people. Talk about random things. You can start with one topic, go to the next. Just keep talking, keep learning, be kind. The world will keep spinning.
I love that. Thank you so much, Alex. I've been amazing to have you. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can get likes to pop up. There we go. We got that on that side. Let's see if we can get something on this side. Come on.
And we'll get one more special guest appearance from the stinky lady here.
Oh, Griselda! Yay! We got her in the beginning. Hi. Hi, Kitty. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Take it easy, brother.
You too. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the live stream now. Ending stream.